The night Osama Bin Laden was killed. Let's react.
We had a division rivalry between the Mets and the Phillies. The ballpark was full. It was a really lively atmosphere, but at the time I just thought I was sitting down to do a regular baseball game.
We didn't know what was going on. We just knew something special happened. And I don't know how to describe that when you don't know what's going on, but you know it's special.
The afternoon was spent on pins and needles. I wasn't watching sports that night.
Man, I have goosebumps already.
Another packed house here at Citizens Bank Park and an awfully nice night for a ball game here in Philadelphia. The New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies, Sunday night baseball. You know, it's always a rivalry when a New York team and a Philadelphia team get together.
I think for the most part we respected one another, but I think certainly we didn't like each other.
When I was wearing red and white pinstripes, I couldn't stand orange, black, and blue. I just couldn't.
The Mets-Phillies rivalry, it's based on proximity. There's a little bit of a big brother, little brother issue going on, I think.
It's always extra special, obviously. That rivalry was always electric atmosphere.
Even in our production meeting prior to, I remember someone making the point that this is the only show in town. And by that, I mean really the only major sporting event going on across the country. And that's not often the case.
Let's go.
An 0-2 count on the lead. And a swing and a foul tip held by Paulino. Lee strikes out. One down.
Watching the game, we have monitors here, watching Twitter on the laptop, and the White House reporters that I follow. They started talking back and forth about the president has called a news conference.
Our news editor, Claire Smith, passed a note along at some point to me, POTUS news conference tonight. To me, honestly, I'm locked in on what's going on in the field. I'm not even factoring in what this could mean.
And Young strikes him out as the Phillies leave the bases loaded here in the 7th inning.
It was a one-run ball game. The tying run was on base, and Ryan Howard's coming up. But all of a sudden, you become aware of something else.
I looked down at my phone and I got a text from a buddy who always watched games, and he said, they got Bin Laden.
Bobby nudged me with his elbow and showed me his phone. This isn't in the play-by-play handbook. They don't tell you how to deal with this one.
There were rumors that Osama Bin Laden had been, the United States had got him, and that they'd killed him.
Tom Archer, our producer, right away said, we're trying to corroborate it. Don't say anything yet. We're preparing a statement. So you try to put it out of your mind for a second, and you keep calling the game.
I mean, how good are the USA Black Ops taking out the Osama Bin Laden, #1 terrorist back in the day, the terrorist who was responsible for 9/11. I mean, props to these heroes. These are the real deal. I mean, these guys went for it and they took him down, man. And not only them, the whole team, yes, Black Ops and the people behind them, big heroes.
He got 2 hits in this game. They've got 3 hits in this game. Mayberry getting the wave. The throw from Bay, not in time, and the Phillies have tied it.
When we understood what was happening and that this was less a rumor and more fact, we said we're going to bring the announcers on camera at the end of the 8th inning.
Ground ball to second, inning over. Some breaking news for those of you who have been with us on the ball game. ABC News is reporting that Osama Bin Laden has been killed, and a presidential news conference is upcoming momentarily.
I think thereafter, we had our eyes open for when that bit of news was going to find its way into the 40,000 plus people who were at Citizens Bank Park.
at the very beginning of the 9th inning. My now wife, fiance at the time, just happened to be on her phone, I guess. It wasn't the most entertaining game for her.
On CNN, an article popped up about, it's not confirmed yet, but it looks like Bin Laden has been killed. And then, you know, I turned to my fiance and said, hey, look at this is something.
My friend next to me, she suddenly lets out a, oh my God, we killed Bin Laden. After that, it just, everything changed.
Man.
Got a chant of USA as the news goes through the crowd.
There were two events going on at once. One was a baseball game, and one is a hugely significant world event, which people, one by one, are finding out about around the ballpark.
Once the build up to this is like crazy, man. The news are getting around the stadium slowly, steady, and in one moment it will blow up.
It started to leak out. We were told to find people sharing cell phone information with people beside them, find people that were excited, jumping up and down. That night, it was pretty easy to find good shots.
That's when I decided to pull out my phone. It just kind of struck me as this is like a once-in-a-lifetime kind of moment.
This is such a nice feeling to be proud of your country. I'm just watching it and I'm so happy for you guys that you can be proud of your country so much to shout out USA in the stadium like that together with all other your fellow Americans. This is something special.
There's no place in the world right now where there are more Americans gathered than in that ballpark. And they were all experiencing this rush of emotion simultaneously and spontaneously. The players, of course, had no idea what was going on.
Very rarely do you hear USA chants break out, you know, out of nowhere. So it's kind of just a bit of a state of confusion, then you get locked in for your bag.
And I'm thinking, what national team's playing and who are they playing and who they beat?
Was there a soccer game going on? I thought maybe there was a hockey game going on. I was confused, and it kind of took me off of what I was doing.
Just missed outside of the knees. And a base runner for the Mets here in the 9th inning.
I'm just curious, how did players find out? Did they find out during the match or after the match? And will there be any celebrations from the player side on the pitch?
1-1 tie. Right is running and steals it. Let's go down to field level with Wendy Nix. Wendy?
Well, Dan, you're exactly right. As word begins to filter through the ballpark about Osama Bin Laden, the players, at least in the Phillies dugout, are clearly unaware. They don't have the same devices that we have. I was directly adjacent to the Phillies dugout. They're looking at me, like, you know, and they're looking at each other, and they're looking at their manager. And the obvious question, do you know what's going on?
And here comes the USA chant again.
We didn't know what was going on. We just knew something special happened. And you're in the out, but you're in the in. You're a part of it, but part of what?
Jason Bay is going to be the batter.
I got no idea what's going on, and I'm Canadian, you know, and I'm thinking, I've been called a lot of things, especially in Philly, but you know, the USA thing, they're trying to get under my skin.
2-on-2.
Man, this was good. This was good. Under his skin, he's like, no, I'm from Canada, man.
2 out. Bay the batter, tied at 1 in the 9th inning. In the air to center field. Inning over.
Everybody's coming into the dugout, and we're all kind of looking at each other, and, you know, obviously the chants are still going, and we're sitting there going, okay, what's happened here? And the trainer kind of breaks the news to all of us.
That's kind of how it spreads, is by that word of mouth. Obviously, no question, the baseball game becomes secondary to, the news and the president, addressing the country, a few minutes after that.
Isn't it in the baseball, the coach is coach, not trainer? The dude said trainer. Usually Americans don't say trainer like that. They usually say coach.
The White House has just announced that the president will address the nation about 1 minute from now.
Good evening. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children. What we remembered right away was the chants that we started hearing outside the White House. And, my working assumption is that if people had gathered that quickly outside of the White House, chanting USA, USA, that across the country, the same thing was taking place.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing.
And that's a strike away from victory. Got him. The breaking ball to get him Mayberry, and finally the New York Mets hang on to beat the Phillies 2-1 tonight.
Here we are, a team from New York, a team from Philadelphia, rivals, playing one another, trying to knock each other's teeth out, but the game isn't that significant anymore.
It's weird, just being able to high five and hug Phillies fans and have that common ground.
Yes.
Fans are supposed to be enemies with.
Yes.
All of a sudden, it became a moment of celebration, a moment of pride.
For one night, it wasn't Philadelphia, New York, it was the United States of America coming together. That's something special.
Your patriotism helps you to come together, and this is phenomenal. I mean, it was such a terrible event during the 2001 11 September, yes, when attacks on New York happened, when the USA Black Ops killed Osama Bin Laden. Probably for many people it was such a good news because a lot of people died, Some people lost relatives, some people lost friends during these attacks, and for them it's, made it easier probably that the person responsible for that is dead. I was filled with pride watching how the fans and people were shouting USA, and I'm so happy for you that you can do it, because it's a big, big honor. It's a big happiness to be proud of your country and to be part of this huge family that name is USA. So happy for you. Happy for you, dear Americans. So thank you for watching, and see you in next reaction videos. Like, subscribe, click the bell for notification. Bye.